Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Hour 2 of Emerald. So,
We're nearly in hour three because that break took so long.
I was like, I want to just eat something real quick. I wanted to eat cereal, and I was like, I'm not going to sit here and slurp milk during a heavy talking scene because that's just going to be terrible for everybody.
You think
So,
we're gonna talk?
good enough.
Just do what real men do and just take the whole box and just like go at it.
No, I like milk because I'm a lactose intolerant person who hates myself. Um, so,
You have so many options.
Kieran and Stalwart, where you guys head immediately after
Kenneth.
that? So you go
Kenneth.
walking into House Kenneth, and as you go walking in, a funky-looking elf and somebody has the Mark of the Storm. As you go walking into House Kenneth, there's the house is very straight. So are you going to the main house or one of like the little offshoot side ones? I imagine the main one because that's where you.
Well, whichever would be closer. I honestly don't care. Just a place that would have information about House Cannon.
Oh, sure. So, if you're going specifically about their repairs from your ship, that sort of a thing, your best bet is probably down by the shipwrights area, down by the docks. You know what I mean? Where the Kenneth members will be working on boats. And
would go to a more inner city one that's more likely to have records.
Okay, so you want to go to the main house. Okay.
Yeah, if that's the one would have the record, which makes sense, it'd be that would be the one to go.
So this is you have to understand because once again, Sharn is just really tall towers, and Kenneth owns this whole tower. So, they rent the whole tower. This is not only where House Kenneth headquarters is. This is also where they have a ton of their forges. This is also Eric's home. You know what I mean? So this is like a really grand tower with a lot of significance to it. Now, for those of you who don't know, Merrick's to Kenneth is one of the three, because it's the three-headed gorgon, is one of the three controllers of House Kenneth. He controls Kenneth South. They specialize in the creation and manipulation of Warforged. Warforged are currently illegal to create, so no more Warforged are being made. But they can still make Warforged components, upgrades, so on and so forth. That's how they still have valuable like wares to trade, and so therefore wealth coming in. So you guys go walking in, and this place is just absolutely stunning in its design. It's meant to be awe-inspiring. So as you go walking in, you see that there is a huge anvil that's overhead, and that anvil itself happens to have a giant warforged that is like smacking against the anvil. The whole thing is either an illusion or an elaborate mechanical gimmick that's done to kind of catch and awe those that don't understand what it is that Kenneth really does, and so on and so forth. It's not something that's meant to inspire people's like Kieran or Stalbor would even be like, oh, that's cool, but then would never really think.
Maybe you'll be like, I figure out how the spell works in a couple of seconds, and then be like, okay, done.
And so it's actually not a spell; it is mechanical, and you would hear the whirring and whatnot, and you're like, oh, there was more effort into. I appreciate this slightly more now.
I was literally gonna say like mechanics is more interesting because Stelbo doesn't understand that, so that's way more interesting.
So
That's the illusion.
So you make your way into the building, and you look up and you see this thing, and the whole place has just like along the walls, because again it's a tower, so it actually is circular, cylindrical. So it's a circular room you come walking in, and it's literally like many of Kenneth's accomplishments along the way. One of the things that somebody that's as keen about this stuff as Kieran would note is that it shows shared accomplishments of earlier on Kenneth, and then the accomplishments of Kenneth South for like the more recent, latest accomplishments. And that would be from like 3/4 of the way through the war on. It would be like, well, they don't brag about the accomplishments of this new type of ballista or that over just this kind of stuff.
Do they have a Lord of
I
Blades?
will
They make Lord of
explain.
Blades?
I will explain some of the drama to Stalbor, like as I see it. Like, oh yeah, that's because they fractioned off into 3 different groups after the leader died in Zyre.
Why does every single organization on this continent fracture when leaders die? Just keep your shit together.
Or don't die, like my people.
Very accurate.
Just keep bringing them back, right?
Imagine Karen being like, and this is where they fractured drums. And So This works very much because of how like advanced this place is and how clean it's supposed to feel. It works very much like if you walk into like a Verizon store, like a Comcast, where somebody eventually comes over to you and they just like and they come up to serve you and like, oh hi, I understand that you probably have a meeting or something.
I've been Aaron. Anyway.
What was that?
That's at least in the UK when like you go to one of those stores and they always like thank you and say their name.
Oh, okay.
So they can get like rep or whatever.
So they come over and they say, hi, I imagine you have a meeting or dealings that you'd like to do here, or were you just looking for a general tour?
Sure, and I'll handle the paperwork that I have for my dealings.
Look at it.
We're here to give get some paperwork filed away, and also, if possible, ask some questions about general records.
Yep.
We're looking for someone.
Okay.
Their whereabouts.
Thank you. And your names are Kieran Lyrandar. Okay, and I'm sorry, your name?
Unimportant.
Unfortunately, I can't log in unimportant.
Stalwar.
Stalwar, thank you. Is there a surname?
Unimportant.
Okay. And hands back the paperwork and says, somebody with you shortly. And he goes over and like makes notation of who you are and whatnot. And a couple minutes later, as you guys are just like enjoying,
I am gonna tell Stalwar this is gonna go poorly.
I just need to ask one question, and they'll say no, and then we'll just go off to find some gnomes. It'll be fine.
And so they several minutes later, somebody else comes over and says, "Oh, hello, I'm here to assist you. My name is Aaron, to make Ollie happy. My name, because these are humans. My name is Aaron. I understand that you had some questions or the like, paperwork that you needed to reveal." And they take it and they start like flipping through it, and they're like,
No,
"Oh."
I would explicitly, you start flipping through it and be like, that is a letter to be sent away. That is not to be looked at now.
"Why isn't it sealed?"
It would have been.
I take the letter, and I place my signet ring on it and hand it to him.
Thank
There you go.
Now the paperwork that Kieran had given to him, he takes it and is like looks through it and goes, "Oh, so you're just looking for payment for the delivery of the goods?"
Yes.
Oh, I say goods, I mean people. Okay.
Same difference.
And goes and leaves for a little bit, comes back in like 10 minutes or so, and says, "Well, the letter has been sent off to where it needs to. As for the delivery and so payment."
I feel like we've gotten confused here, Scott. I said that about Kieran's thing. I have no paperwork. I would have said that we would have sealed Kieran's paperwork because I don't want to talk to these people. I want him to just send that off and not
There
actually...
is confusion then. So anyways,
Yeah.
you just take the letter and you hand him just one sealed letter, and it's like, "Oh, okay." He'd go off, and several minutes later would come back. And like I said, 10, 15 minutes or so, would come back and say, hand you just an envelope, not sealed, just an envelope with something inside, and say, "Everything should be taken care of then."
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
Yes, we're looking for a binder who worked with Kenneth in this city at least 4 years ago, but most likely since then, by the name of Yosis.
Yosis. I would be more than happy to check some records and get back to you.
Please do.
Certainly. And goes off. Kieran, I imagine you look at the letter in the meanwhile?
Yeah.
It is a very, very standard writ, as you would normally see, given from Kenneth, that thanks you for your services to House Kenneth and informs you of the account number of where you can find your payment at House Kundrark. So you would just go there and you would acquire your assets from House Kundrark.
That will probably be an issue because I do owe House Kundrark money, and also we broke into their most secure.
Yeah, but they didn't
facility.
see us. They want to live, and they didn't see you. And I look different then, so it's fine.
We'll see how that goes.
So you make your way you wait there a little bit, and eventually they come back and they say, I have to tell you that the question that you have is classified, and so I can't answer anything more than that."
Absolutely fine.
Even if she's a terrorist?
Absolutely fine. We shall be leaving. Good day. You might want to start looking at another job, though. And then We'll start leaving.
Okay.
Trying to leave quickly.
As you guys go to leave, make me a perception check. Both of you see a platinum coin sitting on the ground. Like, literally, you step out the door and you look down. It's like one of those, like, well, that went better than I expected. I know. There's literally a platinum coin sitting on the ground.
I
Don't pick it up. It's a
go away
trap.
from it because it's a trap.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
probably explosive.
If it doesn't instantly explode, we just leave.
Yeah.
Okay, so you both look down, you look at each other, and you like walk away from it.
Yeah.
It's a
Quickly.
I will
fucking
also
trap.
like prepare a spell in case anything happens related to it.
Okay, where are you guys heading to?
A Zilargo embassy.
Okay, so you guys make your way over to the Zilargo embassy, and you get all the way across the city. Again, it's just absolutely disgusting outside, but you know, life is Sharn. Ollie, did you miss it, Stalbar? And
Ollie didn't miss it.
yeah,
Ollie
Stalbar.
hasn't been there.
Stalbar didn't miss it either. So, as you guys get pretty much all the way there, like we're talking, you're in that region of the city. You know that it's like another 2 corners to turn within 3 minutes of the walk. A little boy comes walking up to you guys and comes up from behind and pulls at Stalbar's robes.
I will remind you, last time the little boy did this, you were shot.
No, like literally as
Somebody
it happens,
was.
like freaking Doctor Strange, I turn and like magic like will just appear around my hands. I have the spell book like open, and like even seeing it's a child, like that's not gonna stop. Just be, what?
He lets out a high-pitched scream and like runs back and hides behind a nearby cart. Other people that are walking by and everything just kind of like stop and look at you. And someone's like, "You're kind of an ass," and someone else is like, "That's illegal."
It's literally not illegal.
The
What's
kid's
a little bit of
hiding behind the
mentoring
corner,
gonna
like
do to
looking.
him?
I'm gonna go grab the child and drag him out.
Okay, so you go over and grab the child's dragon. He's like,
Yeah.
hi, I was, okay. Are you gonna hurt me?
What do you want?
Detect thoughts.
Oh.
It's a lot of text.
It's a lot of text. More or less, if he fails a what is it? Fuck, this is a lot. If he fails a wisdom save, no, this is a lot of text. Jesus. Within 30 feet, intelligence 3 or higher. Does this stupid child have an intelligence of 3 or higher?
Of course.
Okay.
Could be a
I
changeling.
immediately learn their
Doppelganger.
thoughts. What's on their mind at the moment.
Yep. I hope they don't kill me.
Then I want to probe deeper to find out who sent him, which means I have to do a wisdom save.
But first, since that takes a moment, he says, "Are you gonna kill me?"
What do you want?
You didn't answer the question.
What question?
Are you gonna kill me?
That depends. What do you want?
Literally pisses himself. He's like, I was just told to tell you thank you.
For?
Because you didn't pick this up, I'm allowed to have it.
Stop, or is that gonna explode?
I'm kind of doing something, like holding a copper piece to my forehead.
And
That's
then,
more-
is this an
more
intelligence check?
It's a wisdom save.
No, this is next one's a contested intelligence check. If succeeds, the spell ends, right?
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
oh, that's if. So it's a wisdom save first.
Okay. I failed that, which is why you got. Are they gonna kill me? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
now it's a contested intelligence.
Stop,
No,
or
no,
this is
the-
more
you
important. Is the child going to blow up?
Just so you know, Scott, you get the surface thoughts anyway.
Yeah.
Then it's a wisdom save to go deeper, like Inception.
Okay.
Then it's an intelligence save because it couldn't be simple. They had to go a little 3.5 with it.
No,
And,
3.5 is way simpler than this.
You read their thoughts.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like,
Can I do an
detect the
Arcana
presence
check
of minds.
without-
You know how many minds you start detecting their thoughts.
Can I do an Arcana check without breaking concentration on this coin?
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, it doesn't look like it's gonna blow up to you. It just looks like a coin. You're not getting any magical resonance off of it or anything. With a 29, even though you didn't cast detect magic, you would still be able to understand some things, and you don't detect anything off of it whatsoever. You probe who sent you, and you actually get the image. You actually get the image of a female clearly wearing Cannith robes. She looks to be in her mid to late 20s, has silvered hair. It's probably magically made that way. Has silvered hair with some piercing green eyes. Clearly wearing Cannith robes, and has kind of a soft expression on her face.
I'll just sort of like simply say in Elvish to Kieran, just like, he was sent by Cannith. He might not necessarily realize that. You can keep the coin, boy. We really care less. Go as far away as you can, or we will kill you.
He runs, like holding the coin for dear life, because it's worth 10 gold pieces, which is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
It's running for dear life.
Stalbor will like flip the copper coin he used to cast the spell and like put it back in a pocket and just be like, "You're right. Okay, I guess there was trouble, as is always."
What were you doing?
I was reading his thoughts.
And what did you get?
He was sent by Cannith.
Who?
Some Cannith woman. I could draw her, but she looks like any other human.
You could describe her to me.
Silver hair, soft features, like a human. Humany human.
Both of you guys roll a perception check. Stalbor, as you're describing her, you actually see her over Kieran's shoulder.
Oh, there she is.
She's about like 50, 60 feet away.
Lightning bolt. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I will turn.
Why don't we have a conversation? And just start walking that way.
For starters.
So you guys start walking that way. It's pretty obvious that you're walking that way.
Oh yeah, we're not trying to hide it.
She does a sideways glance and sees you guys coming. Immediately puts down what she's doing. Not like drops it, but like casually puts down what she's doing. It says thank you to the merchants that she was just speaking to, and turns and walks away from you guys, and clearly down an alleyway.
Well, clearly we were meant to follow her.
Yes, and it's clearly a trap. Let's go.
If it was a trap, the coin would have exploded.
That's
They
good.
wouldn't use the same trap twice, now would they?
Probably.
Yeah, we just go. As I burn spell slots.
Okay.
And if not, then, we kill her.
So you guys go walking down the alleyway, and as you go walking down the alleyway, you actually see her standing there, but she's not just standing there. As she's standing in the alleyway, she had literally just finished pulling something out of her pocket, and you can actually see like she's holding something in her hand that's literally transforming in front of her. It's like folding out, almost like it doesn't make sense that this large of an item would fit in that amount of space that she was holding beforehand, but it folds out to be effectively a tower shield directly in front of her, and she's holding it. It seems like it'd be lighter than a tower shield really would be, and it's between you and where she is.
Nifty.
You do realize you're fighting two mages, right?
That's not the plan.
Would you please let me in on what your plan is? It'll go a lot faster if you do.
To talk, but your reputation precedes you. I expect explosions before I expect words.
Last time we exploded, it was your fault. Well,
No.
Canist East?
They were mind controlled. It wasn't Cannith at all.
Hmm.
It was a plant creature.
They're all more than happy to talk. They never tell the stories about all the many times we talked. Still like magic or any.
So you are welcome to talk. So you are willing to talk, she says.
Sure, please continue.
You can see like she shakes the shield a little bit, probably hits something, and you can see it starts to fold back into itself. And so she's holding something that almost looks like what are they called? For applying like putty or plaster to a wall. Yeah, trowel. And she puts that, into her pack, and she starts walking her way over. She says,
Yeah, I'll lower my magic. I'll lower my weapon.
She says, I come here as a representative of Kenneth West. Actually, I come here on the direct, and she stops, rolls her eyes for a second. She pulls out a small little bead, and she pops it into her mouth, and you can see she bites down on it with her tooth, and swallows the liquid. The face that she makes it look like it's probably very gross. And as she comes closer, she starts handing you 2 more beads. Handing 2 beads out, one for each of you, and says, if you could please suffer through that for me.
What will it do?
Makes it so our words can't be heard.
I eat it.
I will also eat it.
Keep in mind that if it's poison, I've survived worse.
It is slightly poisonous, but not more than will give you the runs for the next few hours or so.
Oh, this is horrendous.
I can take care of it for you, Spellbar.
I just love the idea of my ass is leaking and wipe me.
I miss being dead.
So anyways, she's like, I come here on behalf of Jorlana de Kenneth, which, Ollie, that's the one who runs the house.
I figured she went. I'm here for the Bath of
the western branch of the house.
Yeah, I figured. Stalbor probably, has to take a moment to go through the Mind Palace to remember that, but yeah.
Jorlana is embarrassed about what had transpired way over on in Kabara, and would like to extend utmost and sincere apologies for what it was that you guys had to go through. That could have done some terrible things to defame her name and our branch of the house and the house in general. So again, thank you for your parts in stopping that and apprehending the poor soul that was being mind controlled. And thank you for not coming back to recoil against the house for the actions of someone that was standing outside of the wishes of the house.
Not for those actions, no.
Not for those actions. But speaking of standing outside of the wishes of the house, this is actually where Jorlana is the transgressor. There are many things happening, things that we're not going to discuss beyond the understanding that there are movers and there are shakers, and a storm is brewing, if not already here. She says, looking to the relatively clear skies at the moment. Jorlana is not united in that endeavor. And while she cannot save face against her rivals by lending you a port during the storm, she wants you to know that she will not act against you either.
Can you speak for Merrick's or Zorlan in this matter? Or not speak for them, but can you offer conjecture?
I will just say that Jorlana is the one that stands against the wishes of the house.
Okay.
And that's good. When all is said and done, and the smoke clears, it would be good to have some of Kenneth remaining.
We seem to have many allies in Ondair.
She nods. You never would have met them, but the group that you travel with happened to be friends with somebody who is favored in Ondair, and there have been a few ties that have happened because of that. Backgrounds looked into, so on and so forth. When a favored member of House Lyrandar starts traveling with a hobgoblin, you can imagine there's a lot of research done into the lineage of that hobgoblin, their past transgressions, and surprise when you find out there's none.
Gotta give it to the man, Ryyk. Does obey every law he can.
Either way, the doors of Kenneth West are open to you when it comes to any form of business that you might bring, so long as it is legal business.
Thank you.
Sorry for that. You seem to be a bit spooked by the coin. I thought it'd be cute. There was a message on the other side of it.
Well, I mean, previous currency that we've gained from Kenneth has exploded in the past and destroyed us, so...
I died.
He died once.
You can see the horror in her face as she realizes that because she knows that story. She's like, probably not the brightest decision I've made in my career.
Everybody makes mistakes. At least you're strong enough to admit it.
Well then,
Would you happen to know anything about ships that are kept in Ondair? In the port?
In Ondair, northern Ondair. Maybe. Is there anything particular you're looking for?
I was looking for information on the Nova. It was my old ship, and it was kept there for a long time. I do very much like it.
I honestly don't know because if unless I'm mistaken, even though legally that's Ondarian lands, let's be serious. That ship is at Stormhome.
Yes. Which
I've never set foot in Stormhome.
Technically belongs to Ondair, but only in technicality.
Excuse me, what was your name?
That's Selena.
Selena, do you work here in Shan?
I do not. I actually come traveling from Ondair, specifically and wait for you to arrive.
Very well.
I knew
Well,
that
thank you.
at some point in time you'd be making your way back to Sharn. It's where both of you have set many roots. Listen, again, I'm terribly embarrassed about the coin incident. If I can offer even the slightest token of apology here, I've got not even a half dozen more of these. She holds out 4 more of those little beads that you guys just ate that are absolutely vile.
Actually would be incredibly useful in the type of business we do.
Thank you.
If not for their intended purpose, at the very least it can help during times of...
Yes.
She with that, she actually will pull like a hood up over her head and gives you a bit of a nod and walks past the two of you.
Well, turns out we haven't managed to pass off everyone on this continent.
Roll me a perception check.
Ultimately, it's history. It's history 101. When powers form together, the smaller powers will always rise up against them.
So
powers are binding together, other parts of them are rebelling against them.
As Kieran's listening to Stalbor making this statement, she suddenly catches her eye as a shape several stories up on one of the small little like slanted rooflets, because again they're towers, so it's not like it's a full roof. It's just a bit of tower that's thicker at one point than it is the area that sits
balconies,
on top of it. So not even a balcony, it's just like a tower built on top of a tower, really. You see a shape that clearly was still in overhead is quickly moving away.
I cast Fly as a 4th level spell on Stalbor, and I can say, "Follow me."
Yes. Like
Mid-sentence.
mid-speech. Yeah. There was like another paragraph planned already.
All of a sudden you feel your feet come weightless and you're like, oh, yeah.
Very used to the feeling by now.
Do you, without skipping a beat, continue with your speech?
No.
Okay. So you go following after the person. This is going to be a fun little skill challenge for you guys. The person is immediately going to try to get away from you as fast as they can. And so because you're following after them, if your intent is to literally chase them down, then they're going to be acrobatics checks because there is no fly skill in this game. So you will roll first acrobatics check for me.
Okay, well, I was just checking if there was any spells that would be really useful for me right now, but there aren't.
Don't forget about your action points, boys and girls.
I know, I'm thinking about it.
I'm probably going to, because I only have a 1 on this, so you might as well, right?
I want to, but I feel bad using it now because like he already rolled. Can I do it after he rolls?
Yeah. You haven't confirmed.
Okay.
I think that's entirely fair.
You can roll your action point.
Well, like
You can
no,
do it
because
before
it's like
Scott starts explaining what happens.
Yeah.
well, it's like I see. Star War failed. Now I can do it. But yeah.
No, you also rolled a 14 and
I
you're
don't
level
know.
9.
Yeah, you're fine. Everything's good. So the two of you are take to the skies and start chasing after this person. And actually, you did pretty well in chasing after them. And so as they are starting to get away, you guys like flying after them. They're running along thinking that they're getting away. When all of a sudden they look back and they see you there, and you can see like they almost like slip and fall because once again the amount of condensation that's on these rooftops and everything like that, and you're completely avoiding that. They actually like trip up and almost slip and fall. They use one of their hands like as like a third leg almost to like grab onto a bit of tile to stop themselves from falling off and pull themselves in a different direction and start running, not to get away from the area, but now to get the fuck away from you. And so now they're full out sprinting across the roofs, and you guys have to take that turn as well, which is pretty easy for you to do. And then you see as they're going, they actually take this huge jump where they're like, and land on some tiles down below. That's probably about 4 stories below from the one where they were before. And as soon as they hit that tile and they look back to see that you guys are behind them, they get themselves back up and jump through the window that's of the tower right there and start running through it. And you guys are like flying afterwards, easily swooping down, flying down. And this is where you're like, we got to follow them. And so Kieran, who's more headlong, and Stalbor, who's more intelligent, Kieran goes smashing through the window behind him and chasing in through him, while Stalbor is like, hold on, wait a second. And the architect
exactly what I was going to say. Go around.
Makes his way around. And then it's one of those...
work well.
One of those things where you all of a sudden, Stalbor is standing there in front of a window prepared for it, and you hear a smash slightly over your head, and you're like, huh. As he then goes like leaping over your head, but you get to make me a perception check. Kieran, you are flying behind this person. This is a residential building. So as they're like running through the area and they kind of like running through one door and there's a woman getting changed, like, smashing through a door on the other side. And oh my God, it's gorgeous. Smashing through a door on the other side and you following behind them. They go looping up 2 staircases and you're flying after them, moving very quickly, but somehow they're able to just barely stay ahead of you. Like they hit those corners so much harder than you can with your flight, and they just go, and then they jump through a window, and you're like, it's literally at one point in time you get to the top of the stairs and you stop. You're like, okay, which way did it go? You go that way. Stalbor, with that perception check, you're actually able to get a sight of the person that you're see Kieran moments afterwards chasing. It's actually very clearly a shifter who is very clearly shifted. And so as they go flying past your head, when they land on the ground behind you, they take that impact and are able to slip back a little bit and still hold on. You're like, I get it now. As their claws dig into the tiles and they like launch themselves forward and keep running.
Can I, with that 20, try to cast a cheeky spell on them? I don't think this would. No, never mind. I thought my staff had Ray of Sickness. My staff has Ray of Enfeeblement, which wouldn't do anything here.
Well, it would weaken them. And Athletics is a weakened spell. Like it's a strength spell.
Enfeeblement is only spell weapon strength weapon attacks.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Sickness is what I can check the stuff because I don't have the stuff in my actual character sheet. I have it in my pictures folder because Scott sent me a JPEG.
If I get close enough, I would cast Gust of Wind with my Dragonmarked ability to either toss them up into the air, knocking them off balance, or to the side.
Yep, not quite just yet.
It's enfeeblement. I mean, if you're saying enfeeblement would work, it's
no. I'm just thinking 3.5 enfeeblement was strength damage.
Exactly.
Temporary, but gotcha. Okay, it's technically a strength penalty, but whatever. So it's just phrasing. So you see that as they land and they start running. Both you guys need to make acrobatics checks again as he starts taking off. And this time, like, from where they go, stopping where they are and kind of like looking back and seeing that they jumped over Stalbor and Kieran's kind of right behind in the window, immediately goes, okay, this tactic isn't working. You guys can outpace me. And just jumps off of the building and allows like free falling to work in their advantage, and just starts like free falling, and it's literally as they're falling and they're coming over to like the edge of where one of the bridges cross, dig their claws into part of the bridge, and I can say that now that you know that it's a shifter, dig their claws into part of the bridge and use that to like swing themselves as they use that as like a fulcrum to swing themselves a different direction, and then as they hit another part of the bridge, like use that to slow their fall a little bit, and land on another bridge down below and start booking it again. Kieran, you're able to kind of keep pace with that. I mean, let's be serious. You're using a flying spell in a manifestation zone of air. You easily keep pace with that. It's actually at one point in time as he does the fulcrum bit, the only reason why you missed him is because he went at a different angle than you expected. Maybe even getting ready to throw your magic at him, but then he's like, god damn it, he reacted quickly. And so you weren't able to go. Stalbor, unfortunately, is flying down, but it's probably too much in his head thinking of the implications of a shifter being the one doing this, and not hitting the angles the right way as this person's moving far too chaotically for his mind to be able to wrap around. Kieran, you're on his heels, though you haven't quite caught him yet. As he's running through the crowd, he does typical things like moves a cart in such a way that it just barely gets into your way.
I mean, but I don't care if I hit other people.
Oh, I'm aware.
Or carts.
I'm aware. So moves a cart so it gets in the way and you kind of like blast it back. Will literally run and like slide underneath a group of people, so you end up having to either bowl through them yourselves or slightly readjust to go over them. Eventually ends up sliding off of another landing to drop another free fall for a bit. This free fall is actually going to be a long one, and one that is not enough around him to be able to just slow down or stop without some sort of magical aid. Make me another acrobatics check.
Mm-hmm. I'll use my stupid action point. Okay.
Okay, so I just want to be clear, we did have an action point gifted just now, but it specifically says it's for Ryyk. Haha, screw you, Wally. So anyways... I won't
Fair game.
I won't say who it's from, though. So,
I'm okay with that.
So Kieran, you're able to all of them. I've had the DC set the same. It was actually DC 15. If you went a 20 or higher, you're actually gonna have advantage, and if you went a 9 or lower, you're gonna have disadvantage for the next roll. But this DC, because it's the free fall bit, where as they're falling for a long while, eventually they have to pull out, and this is like the last second because of the way magic works. Instantly breaks momentum. Last second pulls it. No, it's because they're following and there's like things getting in the way, so it's like hard to have a clean shot.
I can shoot through the things.
You can shoot through a bridge
5
of stone.
foot. Sure, why not?
So last second pulls out a life ring. It's literally one of those like as the ground's approaching fast, somebody else's nerves would have broken far sooner and would have pulled it out earlier. Pulls out the life ring in the last second and holds on to it just enough before they hit the ground. But Kieran, you're dropping. And you're using magical aid to drop you faster. If you would like, you can actually get to the ground before he even pulls out the life ring.
Sure.
So you're looking up at him. Clear shot.
And I can shoot him?
You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Alright. Well... I'm not gonna shoot him.
I'm not there to say no.
Oh, stop.
I know, this is a voice.
I assumed I was out of the fight and I was just gonna...
You are. I just want to see how long it would take for you to get there.
I'm not gonna action point this number.
Oh, no. 90-20, no.
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with that.
So you're starting the descent right as they're finishing it, sort of a thing. So, barely into it. So, Kieran, what do is you stand there and they pull out the life ring, and all of a sudden they look up. As soon as they pull the life ring, they slow down for that last 30 feet of the drop, which takes 1 second per 10 feet. They pull it out, and they look up, and they're like,
I shoot the life ring.
And they look down, right as
I'm gonna shoot the light ring. I'm gonna use an action point if I can to not deal non-lethal damage, like to the person.
Oh, you're not shooting the person. You're fine. You're shooting the life ring, and 29 points of damage. I'm perfectly. You don't even need to use an action point. So you shoot the life ring immediately. Right as soon as he pulls it out. As soon as his momentum breaks, I imagine.
Scott, what is a life ring?
Kieran's used one many times in the past.
I have not.
Oh, then was it Odette that had one forever ago?
She did not have another.
I think they came up in season 1 once.
Oh, okay.
Either way, it's
life
always
rings,
good to
there's
describe
different designs.
setting specific things.
There's different designs. So life ring is literally a ring. Somewhat you imagine a life ring would be if you got it off of a boat, but much smaller. But specifically in Sharn, they're super common because falling off of a building and falling to your death is super common. So it's literally you pull this thing and you hold it, and up to 4 people can hold it, and it actually casts Featherfall on you for the duration of 1 minute, allowing you to comfortably fall 600 feet without harming yourself. If you're smart, you can pull it out lower than like after 600 or as far as you need to, so that the ground is within 600 feet of you. Because if you pull that thing too soon, it's like a 2,000 foot drop. Ah! Anyways, so
Kieran has a ring of Featherfall, and also life rings are really common on airships, which is probably why Scott's getting a little bit confused.
Yeah, maybe. I thought we had made mention of them before, but it doesn't matter. So thank you, Ollie. So you shoot the thing, Kieran, because he falls 30 feet unexpectedly. Could you roll me 3d6?
Unexpectedly.
Look, if this guy was going to splat from that kind of fall damage, he would have done it ages ago. He jumped 40 feet earlier.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay, so he's like falling
That's
this
not bad.
like almost this over 1,000 foot drop. Pulls out a life ring in the last 30 feet, so the last like 50 feet, so it takes effect in 30 feet, and all of a sudden, the thing breaks apart in his hands. He falls 30 feet, he's like, as he hits the ground for 5 points of damage.
And lands prone.
It lands prone.
And Lance Brown.
Yeah, I mean 5 damage is not enough, anywhere near enough to kill him. But so lands prone, and there you are, Kieran.
I grab him by the head and I bash his head into the ground and ask what he's doing. Reasonable.
I'm gonna allow an athletics for that.
Oh, good. I'm trained in athletics.
Have you got advantage because he's on the ground?
Yeah, sure, why not?
That means this is a good guy that I'm beating up.
You have an extremely effective bashing of the head. So effective that it hurts like a bastard, cracks the skull just enough to get it started to bleed and get him a bit more willing to aid you. However, not so much that you kill them. Because your natty 20 makes it so you don't kill them.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So you bash you more or less curb stomp them from the top of their head.
Do that.
And he's like, oh, okay. And it was like, okay, oh.
I drag him away.
Yep, by his hair, like, and dazed.
No, by his collar, like by the collar of his shirt.
Dazed.
He's wearing a shirt.
By
He's
his
a...
hair.
Hair everywhere.
Where's that arm? Whatever.
Yeah,
His hair.
Stalbor, you land on the ground as he Kieran dragging this person by their collar. Because they're shifters, so they must have a collar on. You animal. So,
Kieran, who's our new friend?
I don't know yet.
Do you think he's going to tell us what we want, or am I going to have to use my new spell again?
anybody else interested in how intently Eric's staring at that porn? So, go ahead, Kieran, you can answer.
He's gonna tell us what he wants to know. But we should bring him somewhere else. Not so public, as I imagine everyone's watching, because I just shot a lightning bolt into the sky.
You've fallen in total about 1 3/4 mile in this whole
Are we
endeavor.
like close to the boat right now?
No, because you're so far into the city, but you are.
Yeah. I was. If we would go.
I'm actually going to grab him and just.
You're not in the cogs, but you're definitely in the lower city. Okay. Maybe not far from the hilt. You know what I mean?
We are going to jump lower to the lower into the cogs.
Yeah.
So people don't question us.
Can I use my knowledge local check to find somewhere that, because I used to live around here, that would be quiet?
So lower city has open air enough that you can drop down into the hilt. The hilt or the depths, depending on where you are, is literally ground level. The cogs is underneath ground level, where the actual foundations of the things are. I imagine you don't actually want to get into the cogs, which is to the bottom of lower city, so the depths.
Just somewhere nearby where.
Okay. Yep. So sure, you can do me just an intelligence check, or with advantage.
Danka. I needed to save. My hand went so far to the saves.
Okay. So you make your you think about like a quick study, like looking around real quick. It's not a matter of knowing this exact spot. It's a matter of knowing the structure of the city. And so you just go, so you just kind of like look around for a second, and you're like, this way, and you drag them only for like another like 30 seconds or so to get to a dropping point that you can use. However, that is enough time for them to get their senses back and at least once try to pull free. So
Well,
I need an athletics from you just to keep them contained, but this is a normal one.
can I just hit him again?
I mean, that
That
would
is
be
the
a part of it
athletics.
if you'd like, but it's the athletics. My apologies. Let me roll mine.
You can talk to him when he's dead, right?
Kieran, are you happy with that roll? By the way, I didn't ask you.
I am not happy with the roll, but it's fine the way it is.
Yeah, there was a whole sort of a whole array of emotions on Aaron's face when that roll happened. Of like, I could, but I won't. I wanna.
He does actually pull free because, like you said, you're pulling him by his collar,
Uh-huh.
and that includes like the cloak that they were wearing, and so they like pull free from the cloak and immediately start trying to get away. You can clearly actually roll me an insight real quick, both the two of you.
I mean, I don't
You don't care.
about what his
Is
feelings are.
what you want to
So-
say.
Kieran might not get it. She sees him running, clearly trying to get away. Stalbor, you realize they're not trying to run to get away like I'm trying to get away. I'm running to get away from you immediately, but not
Yeah.
necessarily the vicinity. But
That's fine. I lightning bolt.
you don't convey that quick enough.
Okay.
No. Ollie, you don't convey that quick enough.
Yeah, no.
Kieran lightning bolts.
Exactly.
I lightning bolt. I don't hit him initially. I will hit the space immediately next to him as a warning shot and shout, "We can ask your corpse these questions because I have a necromancer with me, or you can stop." And if he doesn't immediately stop, I'm going to fire another lightning bolt into his skull.
No, he'll stop. And like I said, he didn't intend to leave the area entirely, and Stalbor had picked that up, so he stops, just upset that he's exposed completely in the open with no cover between you and him right now, and turns back looking towards you. You can see after a couple like heavy breaths and like some strange twitching that he starts to change ever so slightly and becomes less bestial and more man.
Cool. Approach slowly with your gross hands up in the air.
Looks down at his hands and looks up at you, shakes his head, saying something bad about you in a different language. Sylvan.
What language?
Sylvan.
I don't have Sylvan. They speak Sylvan? I guess that makes sense in this setting. Yeah.
Depending on where you live. I mean,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like there was an initial shock that has rescinded.
I'll take out 3 of the beads that we were just given. You hand one to Stalbar.
Stalbor, make an Arcana check as she hands you a bead.
Is poison.
It's not poison.
Are you fine with your check?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Okay, then you can. You guys eat your beads.
Well, does he eat a bead? I'm not wasting a bead if he doesn't have a bead.
Each of you
Yeah.
guys eat a bead.
No,
I'm
we're
gonna
waiting
toss-
for him to have a bead.
I'm gonna toss him his.
Yeah.
Well,
Say, eat it.
he looks
we
at the
can
two of
toss-
you,
So we can talk without
Without your master's hearing.
looks down
Or-
at the thing,
anyone else.
calculates, looks back up at you guys. Ugh, looks like not happy.
We're not going to waste poison on you. She can shoot lightning.
Starts to eat the bead, immediately regrets it, thinks that you're trying to poison him, and you can see he's already starting to try to breathe heavy and trying to transform.
We take ours.
Okay.
Yeah.
Calms down for a second, and like seeing your facial reactions as well, realizes okay, it's supposed to happen, and straightens his back.
This is a magical device allowing us to talk without anybody being able to hear us. Magical otherwise. So that you can tell us what the fuck you're doing without Kenneth being involved. How does that sound? For your protection and ours.
Do you speak common, or do I have to start casting a spell?
I speak common.
Good. I might have several hundred years, but you two don't. So I'd appreciate some sharpness.
I'm gonna be born no Krakens. I have all the time in the world.
Looks at you curiously with that one.
It's just like a.
She shakes his head, and he's like,
Listen, you grow weird fucking claws, I become a Kraken. I don't know what you want from me. You, speak common, and you were in Cannith, and you were watching us, and then you tried to escape.
yes, it's just...
So why?
I wasn't exactly watching you.
Who were you watching?
Selena.
And why?
Does this pertain to you?
Yes.
Yes.
She's a representative of Cannith.
And you're watching her why?
They raised the forest. It was an opportunity.
There's a lot of forests.
You can clearly tell that when you say that, he's just disgusted with just like casual wave. You say, if he burns down your home, you get another home.
I was asking like which forest, but sure.
He misunderstood it that way, almost like a Scott did. But so that's where it sits right now.
So which forest? I recently burned down one in Quabara.
I don't care about foreign lands. I mean my home. I mean the reaches.
Okay.
They
And that was
raised
it?
the forest. I came to handle the situation, and then you two got in the way.
Why did they raise the forest?
And did this one particular individual do it all on their own?
No. It's they raised the forest. They burned it down to their ends. And so, we're retaliating.
What are the ends? Because honestly, like at this point, that's what matters. Like I don't care if people kill gnolls. I care if people kill gnolls if they have Dragonmarks. Why do they burn down your forest?
Because it helps to fuel their machines.
You're gonna have to come up with something better than that. That might be true, but there's more to it. There always is.
They burned down my home to fuel their machines, and so I don't like them.
So you target one particular individual who's very far away from the actual organization that
Do
you're
you not
angry
know
at.
who Selena is, and you met with her?
No. Do you know every single person in the world? Do you?
People that I have secret
Do you know
meetings-
every single person in the world?
People that I have secret meetings.
I am
and
not hearing an
alleyways with.
answer.
I'm answering you. You are the most obnoxious people I've ever encountered.
Like, she just got, like, angry at that point. You poked him.
People that I have secret meetings with, I tend to know. So, honestly, here I am
Okay,
meeting you
so
and don't know who you are.
No, because we could have killed you. We didn't. So who is Selena?
Selena
And why should we care?
is the right hand of Drolana.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drolana burns down our forests.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah.
I honestly thought this was something more interesting than that.
You chased me down because you thought I was more interesting than
Yeah.
an assassin plot?
Yeah.
A lot of people try to kill us.
You must be very interesting people if an assassination plot you don't find interesting. I have to ask, who do you work for?
Ourselves.
We're trying to bring down all 12 houses.
I'm sorry, what?
As a creature of nature, you probably appreciate that the houses are destroying the world piece by piece, your forest included.
Yeah.
So yes, we're trying to destroy the houses.
But unfortunately, Jorlan is not high on our list.
She's actually incredibly
Unfortunately
low on
for
our
you.
list.
Well, but hold on. You're trying to destroy all the houses?
Yeah.
So not just Trolana, but all of them. And he says, like, looking directly at your tattoo.
I mean, I was gonna start with Lyrandar, but
We're starting with
Kenneth is like next on the list.
Oh,
this list.
I have to say that this conversation is a bit
I do
more
have a
interesting
list.
than I expected when you smashed my face into the ground, which hurts, by the way.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have ran.
The fact that you could run from us means that you are actually a person of some note, and means that your cause probably has some clout behind it.
Do you want to help us destroy all the houses?
With every fiber of my being. I will have to carry
have
word
allies.
back to those who make decisions like that. Who are you?
Kieran Delarodar, Stalbor. There are others.
Do you have a plan?
Well, right now we're gonna go to Joram. No,
Duggan.
Dargun.
I've been doing that all the time too in my mind.
Dargun.
Don't
And
worry,
raise an
it's funny
army.
because Will actually wrote a letter with them back. backwards.
Dargun and raise an army to take over that country, and then we're gonna go potentially commit terrorist activities and explode.
Terrorist activities is actually what my organization specializes in.
Starting to understand that, which means you're going to be incredibly useful if you want to join us. We need all the firepower we can get.
I can't make
Especially
decisions
guerrilla
like
warfare.
that, but I can deliver your words back home. Have you been to the Reaches?
It's lower on the list.
Could be higher. We do have allies in Ondare.
When you say that, you can see like the pill that he just ate isn't the only sour taste in his mouth.
I mean,
You have to understand that
the Ondare area.
the task we have is global, not just on this continent. It involves making strange bedfellows. But it will involve changing the world. And in a way that you want, eventually, in time.
If I'm going to bring this word back, I need something of yours.
Certainly.
There are leaders of my group that are seers, and something that they can use to know that what I say is the truth and not just words that were said to me.
You know what? I will write up a letter. I'll roll it up, like on the side of a wall, like very, like casually. Roll it up. I will take the bracelet that's on my arm that belonged to Dane, put it over it, and hand it to him.
Wow, that's fucking significant.
That will be
And it was
enough
used
for
in the
your
past
seers.
for seers to fucking...
Exactly.
Holy crap.
I know for a fact that seers will be able to get something off of this because it has been done before.
He looks at the bracelet. It means nothing to him. He says, then I guess it's good we didn't kill each other.
Sometimes that happens.
My best friendships have ended up that way.
Nods. And looks to you. Looks away. Looks back. And says,
And what is your name? Shifter.
you can call me Longfang.
That is a terribly unoriginal name.
It's because it's not my name. It's my clan's name. Maybe one day we'll be a little more acquainted.
Okay then, Mr. Long. Good luck.
And
Goodbye, Mr. Fang.
he rushes off, a little wobbly at first, and then kind of gets the paces. He like jumps onto a building, and it's a little sluggish compared to what it was before, but starts running.
There'll be a bit of a moment and just like, where are we getting allies from? This is strange. It's not. I'm not used to having people on our side.
Right? How weird. Unfortunately, I don't know if we can keep both. For example, once Mr. Long finds out that we know Mr. Haldren Urberask, he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
Just a fact.
Politics. Aren't they so fun? And then you guys finish making your way to go speak to the damn gnomish embassy. We can take a quick 5-minute break.
Tired.
Yeah.
A little air messed, windswept.
We could go take a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll do that. Bye.